Let's start with the BetMGM game of the week. It's third Saturday in October, baby. Tennessee, Alabama, going to Tuscaloosa are the Volunteers. 7:30 Eastern, ABC. The Crimson Tide now favored by 8.5. That's a big number. It's a very big number. But I have to think Vegas has kept tabs on A1 Kalen DeBoer and what he's wearing. That black hoodie, brother, I told you, I would never take that thing off my body, especially with Kalen DeBoer being a nice 12-2 when rocking that thing. Alabama's got their chain popping a little bit right now, man. I just told you, you got Hoodie DeBoer, you got Caden Proctor seemingly being an offensive weapon. If Caden Proctor had stayed at Iowa, where would he rank in terms of their best offensive weapons? I don't know. My question to you, for you to answer, I'm not trying to throw shots at Iowa during a Tennessee-Alabama prediction, but so it goes. Ty Simpson's a freaking cyborg right now. He got heated up a little bit against Missouri. Looked death in the face, took its mask off. I mean, the dude is playing at another level right now. Does that continue against Tennessee? Tennessee is going to heat you up a little bit when it comes to what they do defensively, but we got some more to unpack with what they are in the back end. Now, Tennessee, if you win this game, playoff odds look pretty nice. Okay, you got Oklahoma at Florida and Vanderbilt. If you win this game, go 2-1 in that stretch, and a year after Nico Iamaleava left you for dead post-spring football, you brought in Joey A. I'm just saying, you build that Josh Heupel statue if you make the playoff with that whole storyline going into it. I think Tennessee's got to come out in attack mode in this game. Josh Heupel has proven he can shapeshift a little bit. All right, it's kind of the game plan du jour with that guy. It's, hey, do we want to go ahead and push the ball deep? Do we want to do game control? Last year, a lot of game control for Tennessee, not just in this game, but across the board. Why? Because you had some issues on the offensive side, totally finding your stride, and defensively, you were freaking phenomenal. That script has since been flipped when it comes to this game. I think when you look at Tennessee in this spot, less than 30 is probably not winning this game. You know that, I know that, Bama knows that, Josh Heupel knows that. So what I would expect from them is a pretty aggressive game plan. I don't think we see them come out and try to just control the clock. Now, if they get a lead, I think they could potentially do that, but it's who Tennessee is right now. They are top 10 in America when it comes to yards per pass. They are top 3 in America when it comes to points per game. Tennessee, they're taking that throttle, pushing it all the way down, and I think it is a let's just go ahead and outscore Bama kind of situation. Now, for Alabama, I think we're going to see them maybe not get like down in this spot where it's a 10-0 Tennessee lead in Tuscaloosa, and we're all like, well, what the heck is going on with Bama? But I do think now we see Tennessee show up big in that first quarter. Reason why I say that, I've seen Alabama in 2 pretty impressive wins against Vanderbilt and against Missouri look like the less physical team for the first quarter of both of those wins. Cannot be the case against Tennessee. However, I expect it to, at least based on what I've seen the last couple of games, be the case in this spot. Now, what does that ultimately equate to? Does it equate to Tennessee jumping out and getting a 7-0 lead at the end of the first, or is it a situation where we see Bama battle back, respond, Ty Simpson does his thing? Kind of my approach to this thing is we're going to see Josh Heupel have a phenomenal first script for Joey Aguilar, and then we'll go from there. If you're Alabama, I don't know what's going on with Jam Miller. If you're watching this and we have more information on him, then do with that information as you please. I still think the game plan goes through Ty Simpson. We saw it against Missouri. That dude, especially when there's pressure applied to him, is just he's different. He's very different. What he does off script, the creative plays. It's weird to say because Missouri actually had some success getting after him, but I think that when you apply pressure and it gets to the ad-lib Ty Simpson, that blank canvas with that deep receiver room, it gives them more time to get open when he breaks contain and is doing that whole Pirates of the Caribbean thing. I think we're going to see some of that here because if I'm Tennessee, we're not good on the back end, man. And that's okay. Now, how okay is it in this spot? We'll see. But giving up 277 a game right now, is that secondary for Tennessee? You kind of understand what you're going to be here. You have a top 5 sack rate in college football, though, is the good news for Tennessee. So you have to try to impact the launch point for Ty Simpson. Have to rattle his cage, have to try to speed him up a little bit. Maybe you see a errant throw or 2 from him, get a turnover. That would be the way you have to live if you're Tennessee. Tennessee, as a defensive unit, has been the wrong clock of college football. I just told you. Not great on the back end when it comes to yards allowed per game. Not great overall when it comes to points allowed per game. But one thing Tennessee has done well is take the football away. Wrong clock is right twice a day. Do we see the twice a day show up against Alabama? If that's the case, then Tennessee's going to have more than a fair chance to win this game. But if not, Ty Simpson, again, is operating at a different capacity right now. Doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 24. Doesn't matter if it's 4th and 8. Dude just finds a way. That receiving core finds a way. I fully expect Alabama to attack and test that Tennessee secondary early and often. I think they'll have some pretty good success getting that done. Now for Joey Aguilar, I told you, Tennessee, it is the let-it-rip game plan, baby. Joey Aguilar got some gunslinger to you. I told you I think his personality fits this offense much better than what you had with Nico. Because with Nico, as a Tennessee fan, you're sitting back there on a Saturday afternoon watching your Vols play ball, and you're like, man, if he could just cut it loose a little bit. If we could just be a little bit more aggressive downfield. Forget the whole connecting on deep passes. Just take some deep shots, Nico. Joey Aguilar saw that, said, hold my adult beverage, push the ball deep with bad intentions all of the time, and you'll live with that with Josh Heupel, because what that does is it forces the defense to honor the deep passing game of Tennessee. What that looks like pre-snap is a lighter box. Tennessee, what we've said many times on this show, I think everyone's kind of hit this buzz take a couple of different times. We'll do it one more time, though. Tennessee wants to run the ball. Yes, they want to throw it deep. Yes, they want to be explosive, but they want to run the ball and play with tempo. So how much success do they have doing that against Alabama's defense? It's a weird sample size when you look at what Alabama is against the run, because they've played against Georgia and they don't look great stopping the run, but then they just played America's best running back in Ahmad Hardy and did a great job stopping the run against him. So that's a big piece to watch for this. Do we see Tennessee get some success on the ground that equates to explosives down the field? I don't know. But I think Joey Aguilar, going back to my point here, is going to let it rip. In this spot against Alabama and their defense, that makes me a touch nervous if that's the way you're living if you're Tennessee. Because that means that you have to live with, yes, the explosives of Joey Aguilar and the potential you have there, but you also have to live with the mistakes. And against Alabama, them getting more possessions than you on the road, I don't like that. So, Bama fans, for the better part of the last few days since I picked against y'all and took Missouri in Como, had a lot of my mentions saying, JD, we appreciate you eating crow, but keep picking against us. I think there's this false narrative out there that I've picked against Bama like 18 times. Picked against y'all twice, all right? For the record now, been wrong both times, just so we're all on the same page there. But as much as I love y'all, man, I cannot meet your request. I'm assuming you'll see Kalen DeBoer in the black hoodie. I'm assuming you're going to see this defense be opportunistic enough. I like the over here. The total is 59.5. I would not touch this spread, but if I were, I would take Tennessee to cover. With that being said, I will take Alabama to win. Final score in Tuscaloosa, Bama 34, Tennessee 27. Alabama wins, Tennessee covers, and us college football fans get an awesome game. All right. Hey, Kato, what do you think about this one, man? I think the total looks appetizing, but the game flow back and forth here between these two quarterbacks, expect points, expect explosives. What's your take on this one?
JD, I just had one question for you, actually. Whole segment talked about all the key players, quarterbacks, coaches. Name that was not mentioned was Ryan Williams, who had 0 catches in that win against Missouri. Just curious what your thoughts were as far as his recent involvement in the offense and what you think we should maybe see from him in this Tennessee game, because it's definitely weird having a guy on the cover of a video game get 0 catches for you in a big spot in this offense.
This sounds bizarre to say out loud, but it's honestly my take. I don't know how much I care. Just they're so deep. Like we've talked about it before on the show, off the show. Jeremy Bernard is a freaking playmaker. The Infection is, I think, what they call him, which is a hilarious nickname, but Jeremy is his name. Germ equals infection. It is what it is. I think they're deep there. I think they got Latzia Brooks coming on. I think they got Isaiah Horton doing his thing. There's a lot of mouths to feed, and so Ryan Williams not being as much of a factor against Missouri. If you had told me before that game that Ryan Williams would have 0 catches, I'd say, okay, I feel even better about my Missouri pick. But after seeing what they did against that Missouri defense, I think that Ty Simpson is just going to find the open guy, and it's more of a Ty Simpson take than it is a Ryan Williams doesn't matter take. It's a deep room. I think Alabama has enough firepower without him to still win this game. You'd feel better, though, if he gets his touches, is I guess my point.
Yeah, I think Jeremy has just separated himself as by far the most reliable guy on this team. You know he's going to catch it. You know he's going to be in the right spot. Horton coming on late is a deeper threat, a big target. So it kind of leaves Ryan Williams in a weird spot. They love what they saw at Latzia Brooks in that last game. Giving him, I think that target on 4th down and 8 was just a huge sign of confidence in him as well. I agree with you, though. It's a Ty Simpson thing. He seems like such a a great processor of matchups on defense and zone versus man coverage, that he's just always going to go put the ball where it needs to go and not necessarily favor one receiver or another. So I'm curious if Ryan Grubb, coming off of this game, could maybe put Ryan Williams in some positions to where he's one of the first reads in the progression, or just puts him in space to where Ty can kind of target him naturally. But I think that's one of the kind of quiet storylines I'm watching in this game too, is just to see what Ryan Williams looks like. Because, I mean, we'll talk about in the offseason when we see portal season come around and how many targets and catches some guys are having across the country. All of a sudden, you kind of have a little bit of a priority to keep your receivers happy, I think, in the portal era. So we'll see how it goes the whole season. But it was definitely weird hearing not hearing his name mentioned, not only in this segment, but on the broadcast last week as well.
It's a fair point, man. You'd like to think that Ryan Grubb could manufacture some touches if the game plan becomes a, hey, let's involve Ryan Williams kind of priority. But it's funny, as we're having that discussion too, like I'm going back through my notes, I don't think I said much about the run game either. And it's not to underplay the value of that, but I really do think it is like, okay, 15's on Alabama. Okay, that receiving core is there. Okay, Tennessee is atrocious against the pass. Unless they can get some takeaways, then I'd feel better about Tennessee, in this spot. I feel better if it was in Neyland, but the Tyborg, man, I think he's different, and that Missouri game, for me at least, verified that.
Yeah, he's definitely different. I think he's the best quarterback in the country right now. And it's hard to complain at receiver when you're not getting touches when you're still winning. So I think it'd be a lot bigger of a story if they didn't get the result they wanted on Saturday. I think that's all of a sudden when you hear Alabama message boards just up and up, or if you lose that game and Ryan Williams has no catches. But you do what you want when you're popping. So we'll see what they got coming up here.
Do what you want when you're popping. I like that.